Welcome to Table Manners, the podcast that interviews the chefs, owners, and tastemakers that put amazing food on your table. And today I'm here with legendary Matt Hudson of the legendary Hudson House in Nyack, New York. Nice to meet you, Matt.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Pleasure.
And thank you for taking the time with us today. So, for those of you out there that don't know, the Hudson House has been here since 1990.
That is correct. August
Okay.
5th, 1990.
August 5th, 1990. We're coming up on 35 years.
Unbelievable. Yes.
Okay, so you got to tell us how does one stay successful in the restaurant business for 35 years?
Oh, by being very lucky and very willing to work,
Yep.
of course. I still am very, very involved in the business. I make the desserts 3 days a week. I'm on the floor. Now I'm on the floor 4 nights a week instead of 5. I just recently cut back. But the first thing is who I've been able to surround myself with.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, my partner. I went into business with my wife. We had three very young daughters at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Amy to go into business with because I knew I had some strengths, but one of them was not being in the office to pay the bills. So I said, please, Amy, just help me out for a year, then you can go back to your academia and all that. Then, well, it didn't quite work out that way. Amy was finally able to retire after 33 years, about 2.5 years ago. Yeah, when our oldest daughter came to join us. But Amy and I, since the very beginning, we've had 2 people with us since the day we opened up. And they're still with us and they're still invaluable. They're just hardworking as ever and loyal as ever and invaluable. Just like I said, these 2 are phenomenally.
Well, I'm sure they're going to see this, so shout them out. Who are those 2 people?
Sky OJ is our manager. Hired her as a server first, and within a year, I always say this. Within a year, Amy, my partner, came to me and said, "Matt, I think Sky should be the manager." I looked at Sky. I looked at Amy. I said, "I thought I was a manager." She said, "Well, I think she would do a better job." And my feelings were hurt for about a minute, but I got over it, and it was the best thing I ever did. The other person is a gentleman by the name of Pedro Reyes.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Reyes was 23 years old when we were taking this restaurant over, and he was always here. He was always in the kitchen, and he happened to live in the restaurant in the house behind the restaurant. So I asked Pedro, why don't you stay and work with me?
Mm-hmm.
And as of last Friday, we were shoulder to shoulder in the kitchen making desserts. So, and he and I work telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
We know what the other one is doing at all times. And the guy, I just can't say enough about him. And there's also 3 other guys in the kitchen that have been with us over 30 years. One of our gentlemen in the front of the house, he's a busboy. He's been with us over 30 years. One of our servers is a gentleman by the name of Jose. He's been with us 29 years. So that's a long answer to how do you do it. And the way you do it is to surround yourself with people who compliment you and make up for your weaknesses. And, I always knew I had a lot of weaknesses, but I knew what my strengths were.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured, all right, if I can just work with my strengths and surround myself with people who like working with me and vice versa, then the next thing you know, 35 years is gone and
It goes fast, I guess, doesn't it?
remarkable.
So tell us a little bit about, you've been in business for 35 years now. What made you go into the restaurant business?
Well, let's see. Out of high school, I knew I didn't want to go to college.
Okay.
I was never a good student. And I moved from Pearl River to Nyack because I fell in love with the town when I was in high school.
Okay.
First thing I did was house painting, and that led into carpentry. I did that for 7 years out of high school. And then my older brother, Eddie, started tending bar.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, man, if he could do it, I can do it. I know I could do that. Sounds like fun.
Right.
Sounds like more fun than banging nails.
Sure.
Than painting houses. Mm-hmm. So long story, but I ended up getting a bartending job in 1978 for a restaurant over in Westchester County, a little fish restaurant. I took to it like a fish to water. I love tending bar. You know, you behind the bar, you got people in front of you, people, you know, happy to see you because you're going to give them a cocktail. And I just loved the work. You know, I loved the communal aspect of it, the action. I liked working on my feet. So I started tending bar, and I ended up in that restaurant for 12 years. I worked for that restaurant for 12 years, 5 nights a week, 12 years. And that restaurant had started going downhill. I could see the owners were losing interest, and I could see that the place wasn't going to last that long. And rather than be on the ship till the bitter end, I decided, you know, after talking Amy into coming into business with me, we had the opportunity to buy this ongoing concern. And we just took a giant leap of faith. And next thing we knew, we were in this beautiful building serving people.
Yep.
But yeah, we had a lot to learn.
Tell me a little background about this building.
Sure.
And how you kind of decided this was the place.
Well, I knew of this building when Serge Raoul, the former owner, bought it in 1979. And my brother had been working for him already at the time. And I was coming in here while the renovation was being done. And that was a year or two after I started tending bar. So he was operating here for 10 years by the time we, you know, were thinking about taking the place over.
Okay.
And we leased it first, and within 2.5 to 3 years, we were able to buy the building.
Oh, wow.
Had to refinance 15 years ago. I got to put this point in. We finally paid the mortgage last month.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Oh, huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, you said that you do a lot of baking in the back.
Right.
And full disclosure, I've eaten here a number of times over the years. I haven't been here in a while, so I'm sorry about that. But
Right.
but I have eaten here a number of years. I have had the desserts here. They're fantastic.
Thank you very much.
And I know that I didn't know this until recently, but I didn't realize that you were the kind of man behind the desserts.
Yes.
So how does this all happen? I will go from bartender to open up a restaurant to
Right.
all of a sudden now,
Yeah.
you know, people have written articles about your
Yeah.
amazing desserts.
Yeah. Well, it came from when I was a little kid. My mom was a good baker and a good cook. Nothing fancy, but we loved, and I'm one of 10 children. So I grew up in a crowded dining room.
Right.
And we loved sitting around a crowded dining room table, having my mom's good food, and there was almost always a homemade dessert. So I had a sweet tooth right from the start. So when I was a young man, one of my older sisters, my sister Kay, was becoming a really good baker, and you know, I got over my fear of learning and asked my sister Kay to show me. First thing was I wanted to make pies. So I had my sister Kay show me how to make pie crust. So I started making blueberry pies, and you know, and I really liked the way they tasted, and so did people that I would be baking for. I just liked the process of baking, and I loved, you know, putting disparate ingredients together and then throwing them in an oven and having them come out to be these delicious things. You know, I still love it.
I have my opinion about one of my favorite desserts here, but what is the penultimate dessert here?
Without a doubt, I would say the sticky toffee pudding. Yeah. It's a cake that's made with dates. You soften the dates in boiling water, then you puree them, fold it into a batter. It's served with toffee sauce, candied ginger, fresh whipped cream. But that being said, you know, the black bottom banana cream pie, which I've been making since the day we opened up. The crack pie.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Pie is amazing.
Yeah. Some people, that's their favorite.
Yeah,
You know, without a doubt.
It's intense.
Yeah, crack pie I make, which is a recipe from Christina Tosi at Momofuku Milk Bar in New York City.
All right.
I follow her recipe to a T. It's a great recipe. People love that. I have a triple layer devil's food chocolate cake on the menu that I've been making for over 32 years. Still my favorite chocolate cake recipe.
Let's talk about this a little bit. I asked you because you have a kind of a fortuitous name, right? You're in Nyack. Nyack, for the people that are watching, is on the Hudson River. Your last name is Hudson. You have the Hudson House. Henry Hudson was that's the Hudson River is named after Henry Hudson.
Yes.
Any relation?
Well, it turns out after one of my cousins did a very extensive research, and growing up our whole lives assuming that we were not related to Henry Hudson. He found out that when he went back 12 grandfathers, there was a John Hudson who had a brother named Thomas Hudson. Thomas Hudson had a son named Henry Hudson, and that makes Henry Hudson my first cousin 12 times removed.
Amazing.
So it's a pretty cool
That's a pretty cool thing.
you know, especially since we just assumed that it wasn't the case. So it affirms my love for this area even more.
Yeah, totally. It's really kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
If somebody comes in here and they want the quintessential experience at the Hudson House, what are they ordering off that menu? Give me a top. I know it's. I know you can't. I know you don't, probably don't have a favorite, but give me an idea.
Yeah, there are four, I would say, that are really equally enjoyed by our guests, in no particular order: the steak au poivre, the hanger steak, the pork chop, and the duck. The salmon prep changes, so that's slightly different. But you know, I would say those four are the top go-tos.
Describe your overall menu, like in other words, the feel of it, like
But I would say contemporary American.
Okay.
And like America being a melting pot, we have French influences on the menu, Italian influences on the menu, Asian influences, regional American influences. So that gives us the freedom to do whatever we want to do. You know, we're in a melting pot. We're gonna do what we think tastes good and appeals to people.
How often do your specials change?
I would say on a daily basis.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Slight variations, of course, depends on what chef finds available. And but I've always given creative freedom to my chefs over the years, because I'm not a chef. At first, I thought I would have to learn, but I knew that it would take me a very long time, and it would keep me away from the front of the house, which is, I thought, was my strength.
So tell me a little bit about the bar, because I know that not only do your specials change, but I know that you also have some pretty creative items at your bar, and people really seem to appreciate that here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, cocktails are big, especially here. We've had a long history of really excellent bartenders. Our bartender right now is a guy named Izzy. He's freaking awesome. This guy is just great, very personable, really smart, got a great memory, and he's got a great palate also. He actually trained with Peter Kelly, one of my friends and restaurant heroes.
Yeah.
And when I found out when Izzy first started working with us, shortly thereafter, I found out that he was trained by Peter Kelly when Izzy was 18 years old. I said, oh, okay, that's a good sign.
One of the great things about walking into this property itself, the building itself, is that you automatically feel like you're being teleported back in time.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the building.
Yeah, the building was built in 1881. And originally it had two purposes. The upstairs was the village hall. This floor here was the firehouse.
Okay.
So it was multi-purpose or dual purpose from 1881 to around 1900, when the story that I've read from doing some research was there was a disgruntled fireman who tried to torch this building.
Right.
And then after that, the firehouse moved elsewhere, and the village took both floors over. And it was the village hall exclusively from 1900 to 1970. In 1970, the village hall moved to where it is around the corner. And for a period of time, the front area was used as a little luncheonette by a couple of local fellas. But then in 1979, a New York City restaurateur by the name of Serge Raoul, who has Raoul's on Prince Street in Soho. That's been there 50 years this year. Serge actually passed away last year. His son runs the restaurant now. But this was Serge Raoul's building, and he did a major renovation on it. He had the banquettes built, the tables and chairs, the hutch in the middle. He commissioned this beautiful mural that we have across the way here, 6 foot tall, 24 foot long, oil on canvas. He found brass frame mercury back mirrors from Paris 1800s, 2 here, 1 in the bar. They fit perfectly and look beautiful here. So he did a major renovation here. and opened up in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being at that party, at the opening day party, and I stepped inside this dining room and I looked around and I thought to myself, man, I had been tending bar for 2 years. I said to myself, if I ever owned a restaurant, I'd want it to look just like this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And,
Mm-hmm.
they say careful what you wish for.
No, that's it. I think.
And,
What do they
no
call it?
regrets.
What do they what is that? You put it out into the universe and
That's
then it
right.
delivered.
That's right.
That's
Yep.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So if you look around this place today, I know it's a little bit different than
Oh, yeah.
because a lot of the things that are on the walls here have your name on it.
Yeah, yeah, they do. Which is a great surprise for
Mm-hmm.
me because when I opened up, I had no idea that all these years later, first of all, we'd still be here.
Mm-hmm.
And now the only work of art that is not mine is the mural that Serge Raoul commissioned for this dining room. So I had an opportunity to rent a cottage 2 miles north of here where I was right on the Hudson River, a 180-degree view.
Mm-hmm.
These photographs are taken from that cottage. So I just started, I got big walls. I'm going to make them as big as I can and put them on these walls. And then 17 years ago, I started wood carving again after a 30-year hiatus. So when I was in my early 20s, I started carving. I stopped in my mid 20s when I started tending bar. But I kept this set of chisels, hoping that someday I'd get back to it.
Wow.
And then in 2007, I saw a photograph on the cover of the New York Times Magazine section.
Mm-hmm.
It was a photograph of a New York City manhole cover that you wouldn't give it a second thought to, except that it was golden.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just painted these walls and ceilings, these colors, the
Yep.
metallic gold. And I thought, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen, a gold New York City manhole cover. And within a half hour, I knew that I could carve that design. So I started carving again in October of 07. 17 years later, oh boy, in this dining room, there are 4. In the bar, there are 7. There's 1 in the hallway. So
I mean, they're actually pretty stunning.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
it's,
yeah, I always give credit where it's due. I'm a stickler for that. What I do is I copy designs, just like I copied that New York City manhole
Sure.
cover. So I've challenged myself to copy more intricate
Mhm.
and figurative and designs that are. So now I love the Art Deco era. So a lot of these carvings are from artists in the Art Deco.
upstairs. I've been upstairs. It's where I guess the court would be held,
That's right.
right?
Yep.
But now what is it?
Now it's a private dining room. So this facility is a great facility because we've got this beautiful 60-seat restaurant on the ground floor,
Mhm.
which isn't that difficult to fill.
Right.
But if we had as twice as much space on the same floor,
Mhm.
it would often look empty.
Right.
But when we need the upstairs dining room
Mhm.
on certain holidays
Sure.
or just for private parties, we have that. So we can do a big party upstairs at the same time we're doing us 2 seatings on a Saturday night down here.
Yeah, what I like about the upstairs room is that it looks and feels like it goes with this room.
Yes.
Like it feels like you're just extended
Yeah.
the experience kind of right upstairs,
Yeah.
and you get things like holiday parties, I'm
Oh, yeah.
sure, and
Oh,
big
yeah.
birthday parties and all
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, all
That's-
kinds of parties. And the thing that I love about what we've turned into is the fact that we are a place that people think of to come to celebrate.
Mhm.
We we have we're one-hit wonders here. We have one hit, and that's Happy Birthday. We sing it almost every night and often multiple times a night. But, we take pride in how we do it because a lot of restaurants suck at it.
I know.
So I make sure we start it on the right note and, sing it right.
That's
If we're
great.
gonna do it, we got to do it right.
So we do this this segment on our show called Bad Reviews, essentially, where we go through people's bad reviews. But unfortunately for this episode, we're going to have to change it up a little bit because we dug and we could finally we hardly find any bad reviews about your restaurant and you. So you're going to have to make up a story. You're going to have to tell us something that we don't know about.
I can think of one.
Okay.
I think it was a Friday night.
How long ago, by the way?
Actually, not that long ago.
Oh, okay.
Really wasn't long ago. But the dining room was packed.
Right.
And it was a table of 5. And we sat them at a table that they just did not like because one of the seats was higher up than the other seats. And, I went over to them, I'm really sorry. If there was any place I could put you, I would move you. But, look around this dining room. There's not a seat to be had.
Right.
And, they were just really unhappy about the whole thing. And we tried, but then it turned kind of ugly. And it really bothered me. And they left unhappy. And that is so rare here
Yeah.
that it just, I couldn't sleep
Right.
practically. But I thought about it a lot. And the next day I came here and I knew that I would have the telephone number of the guests
Okay.
that had been unhappy. So I shot the gentleman a text. I said, I wanted to apologize for your experience here last night because, it almost never happens and I could have handled it a lot better. And fortunately, he got back to me and said, totally accept your apology and appreciate it. And,
Wow.
Next time we come, we'll have a drink together.
At the end of every one of these interviews, what we like to do is we like to give you the opportunity to maybe talk directly to your patrons, people that come in and have made you successful over the years. If there's anything you'd like to say to them directly, it could be anything at all. And if you want to take that moment to do that, right to the camera.
The biggest thing I can think of is thank you. Thank you for coming to join us, either maybe your first time last week or your 100th time last week. I tried never to lose sight of the fact that even if you live down the street here in Nyack and you decide to come join us, you've passed 4 or 5 different places where you could have chosen to come in and spend your hard-earned money. So thank you is really what I find myself saying on a daily basis, multiple times. So thank you.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for meeting me, Matt. It's
My
been
pleasure, Josh.
it was really my pleasure. I really enjoyed speaking with you today. Thank you for joining us today at Table Manners. We hope to see you visit the Hudson House soon. See you next time.